and then you will get a discount. So if you want to get it, check the video description. Hello friends on YouTube, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to compare the Nami E2 Max, the latest one, against the Ninebot Segway GT2P and tell you my honest opinion. Okay, let's first look at the one that has more power. It's the Nami E2 Max, or some of you will say Nami E3 Max. As you can see, it came with the Logan disc brakes and it has a 40 amp hour battery, and because it's the 2023 version, I think they updated also these caps. And it's also with a stainless steering column, so if you look underneath here, this is stainless steel. The first versions came with aluminum and some of them broke. I don't know how they managed to do this, the guys, but they updated it, so now this is stainless steel inside here. And yeah, it has two motors back and front with I think 8000 watts max power. Also there is a steering damper, and yeah, it's better to use them, I think, especially if you're not used to the scooter. And also what I recommend when you get them, to tighten, to pre-tighten this down here. You can pre-tighten the suspension, the front one and the rear one, and there is actually a good tutorial from ESG. I will link it in the description. This is how the scooter looks like, and I like it really. It's a great scooter, it rocks. And what I also find out, maybe you can write me in the description, because I didn't see it on the older versions. Now the dashboard here, it has something in between, some kind of, I don't know, filter or something. Tell me if your Nami has this too. So let's check. I drove it for 186 kilometers, and the first thing I want to update, and I already did it and tested, is the throttle, because I don't like this throttle, the thumb throttle. And if you want to drive, you have to really push it until here, and then it starts to move. So some of you, I know, they're opening them, some users, and putting something in between so it stays like this all the time, and then it's faster and more responsive. And I tested two different throttles, and I'm going to remove this and let these two on, and I can swap them easily. This one is like a twist or a half twist throttle. It's already moving because it's connected. And the other one is for this finger. You can easily drive like this or like this. It's also great. I think it's also easier when you drive, for example, and you need to press something here. It's easier than with this. So when you drive like this, it's really difficult to turn on the light or something. And when you have the half twist throttle, yeah, it's moving. When you have the half twist throttle, you can twist it, and then you're still able, while holding it, to press something here, I think, also with this one. And for me the best, I tested these two, for me the best is the half twist throttle. And let me explain you, if you buy them, I will put probably links in the description, you have to twist two wires to be able to use them. On this one, there is always a black one. For both of them, it's the ground. The ground has to stay where it is. And I think on this one, it's on the finger throttle, let's say, it's for, I think, the red and the blue one. That's the colors. And you can, for example, unscrew this thing here, and there is a screw, I think, here on the other side. Yeah, on this side. And you have to unscrew it. And then you can, for example, without cutting here, just solder and swap them. And for this one, it's also easy. There is only one screw on one side, I don't know, here or the other side. And there is also gray, I think, and purple or something. And you have to swap gray and purple, and black stays at the same spot. And then you can use them without problems. Yeah, what are the differences now and which one you should get, let's say. So if you need more range, then this Nami E2 is clearly the winner. And it's better also for off-roading, because the suspension, it's really crazy. Can really jump. And also a bit of off-road is possible. Normally scooters are not really for off-road, but you can really drive this better on the off-road. With the Segway GT2, it has a bit of a smaller range. I drove this 60 kilometers far, but I didn't drive max speed, let's say 30-40 kilometers per hour or something. And it's more, this one is more for streets, let's say. There is already a video. If you like some of the updates, you can watch the video. We'll put a link. I put a mirror here, and it's removable without damaging anything, and also a phone holder. I can use it without problems. And I like the Segway GT2 because it's really stable and it's enough power. so it can go 70 kilometers per hour, and that's, for me, in my experience, in my opinion, it's more than enough. And it has enough power to accelerate really fast and not too much power so the wheels are going to spin all the time and burn the rubber just. So for beginners, I would say, and if you live maybe in a city or somewhere where you have nicer streets, I would recommend the Segway GT2 because it's really well thought out. You have the blinkers already here on the front and on the back, and yeah, they're also pushing updates. You can I had already, I don't know, 4 or 5 updates on this scooter, and now I have regenerative braking and also something like one pedal driving. So when I release the throttle, it's auto braking. If you like to drive off-road, let's say, and if you maybe live somewhere where the streets are not that great and you need maybe also a more range, then the Nami Burn E is the best scooter you can get, guys. Yeah, make sure, of course, to pre-tighten down here the springs, because if you do not pre-tighten them, it's really difficult to drive. And the Segway is much easier to drive, much more user-friendly, let's say. With this one, you really need to pre-tighten it and also use the steering damper, otherwise it can be really shaky. And yeah, most of the people who tested them, they all like more the Segway GT2. And yeah, because of the power, of course, the Nami Burn E2 has more power, but in my experience, I'm never going to drive this to 90 kilometers per hour. So, and this is not needed actually. Only if you really need more range, I would say, get the Nami. How expensive are they for maintenance and so on? We have here 2 controllers. They are down here, and yeah, what's also cool of the new one, you have here a nicer connector where the horn is, as you can see. But let's look at the controllers. We have one here and one down here. One is for the rear, one is from the front, and if one of them breaks, you can get one for, I don't know, 150 euros or something, and it's easy to replace. And it's kind of also for the headlight and everything. Some of the parts are really expensive, let's say, because the headlight is not very cheap, but you can replace them. It's a bit easier and maybe costs a bit less to replace. On the Segway, for example, if the controller has something, yeah, it's going to get difficult. You can replace it, but I'm not sure if you have to program something, to program maybe the dashboard to the controller. And also if, for example, this breaks, the dashboard or something, and you get a new one, I'm not sure if you can use it directly or you have to program something to program it with the controller, and it's also more expensive. So when you think about price, the Nami Burn E is more expensive, a bit more expensive, let's say, because I paid for this thing about 3,000 euros, and for this thing about 2,500, 2,600. So it's a bit more expensive, but in the long run, maybe if you have some defects or so, it can be cheaper. Now let's talk about the design. As you can see, this one looks for me much nicer, like cyberpunk something, and this thing looks like some steampunk design, like right out of the hell, or I don't know. It's also a cool design, but this one looks much cleaner. Yeah, you can see it. No wires sticking out, everything hidden nicely. And with this one, yeah, this is the second one. So I ordered it on Alibaba, and if you want to order one, I will put a link in the description of the seller I bought it from, and you can write this seller and write them a special code. The special code is MCKUC, and then you will get a discount. So if you want to get it, check the video description. And yeah, what I want to say, I charged it to full, so 84 volts or something like that, and then I turned on the light and it didn't turn on. So there was a defect. I have pictures. So this is the second light now, and one moment please. Yeah, this is the first light, the other one is already on the scooter, and we have here 84 volts and ground, and there is a component inside here, and I think it doesn't like that high voltages. I don't know if it is the current limiter or something, not sure what broke. But in a Telegram channel, a guy told me that we can use, for example, this DC-DC converter, and it converts from 15 to 100 volt to 12 volt 5 amps. So we can use it and connect it like in between here, so we get the input, and the output with the 12 volt 5 amps goes to the lamp. And then when we use it with 12 volts, it's not going to burn the component, so it's going to last longer. This is like a fix for the issue. Let's turn this light on. This is the one of the Nami. Looks good. And let's check this. It's the Segway. So now it's on. Okay, Nami versus Segway. Yeah. From the brightness, they're I think about the same, but the Segway has a smaller, not that the distance is different. Let's turn it on. Interesting. Now let's come to a conclusion. Which one should you get? I have to say that you have to decide it by yourself. For me, I think that all in all, the Nami is a bit of a better scooter, although you cannot update it, or it's really hard to update the controls and everything. But I also like the Segway. For example, if I do not have to ride for, I don't know, 100 kilometers and just a short ride on the street, I tend to get the Segway and to rock it. And if I really want to ride a bit off-road, maybe on streets that are like with stones and everything, and I need maybe a bit of a longer range, then I use the Nami. Yeah, both are great scooters, and if you're a beginner and you live in the city or something, I think that this one is a great scooter because of the feeling actually when you ride it. It's more beginner friendly. Yeah, you have to test them to know what I mean. Yeah, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.